Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So it's been a while since I posted on this channel. It's been about 6 months, and honestly, I wasn't really sure if I was going to come back and revive this channel. But I decided, because YouTube has been a big goal of mine, that I would come back and revive this channel. So I am back. And sorry, there's a fly and it's annoying me. Okay. A lot has happened during this time that I've been away. Some things were planned and some things were completely unexpected. So, here is just a quick reminder about what this channel is about. So, for those of you who are new here, this channel is about my journey living in Jamaica, starting a new life abroad, and sharing my real life experiences behind it all. You might also notice something a little different about this channel. This is actually a faceless channel, and that's intentional. Because of the type of work I do professionally, I need to maintain some type of privacy online. I still want a space where I could share my experiences, document this chapter of my life, and hopefully help or inspire other people who are thinking about making a big move. So instead of just the original talking head videos with me sitting right in front of the camera, you'll see a little bit more storytelling, a little bit more visuals and moments from my life. Just, I won't have my face on camera. And I'm also trying to get better at filming and storytelling. So this is a journey. Okay. So let's talk about why I disappeared. So after my last video, life kind of got a little complicated. I was going through the ups and downs of kind of moving to a new country and getting settled, and then boom, the hurricane hit. Jamaica was hit by a Category 5 hurricane, Melissa, and it caused some really intense infrastructural issues to the country. Power outages, internet going down, water issues. Things, they just weren't stable. I'm going to put some clips of my experience during the hurricane right here. Um, so you can kind of get a feel for how scary it was. Days leading up, it was pretty sunny, but once the hurricane hit, it was like 4 or 5 hours nonstop wind and rain, maybe even longer than that. One of the issues we had during the actual hurricane passing through was that water was leaking into our apartment. And so instead of just sitting and waiting for it to pass, we were actively moving our items out away from the windows, um, and making sure that nothing got damaged. So during that time, we were moving and pushing water out. And it was really stressful and daunting, to say the least. But we made it through, and we didn't have as much damage to our own home as many others have. So we are blessed in that way. Some of the challenges that came after the hurricane: we didn't have power for a while, we didn't have water for a while, we didn't have internet for a while. We had to get water from a local river, um, where everyone in the neighborhood was going to get water. And this is water we would use to bathe with, to flush the toilet with. It was really hard. We ended up getting a gas stove early on. So that was a great like investment we made early on, or a few days before the hurricane actually hit. And so we weren't reliant on our electric stove. So we had a gas stove. So we were still able to cook, and we had candles, of course. So we still had, ways of having like light at nighttime. We have a little power box, so we were able to charge our electronics on this power box that we have. And I'll put a picture of what the power box looks like. It's not a generator. Um, but it definitely helped us out during this time. A lot of people had generators. We were able to use friends to help us charge some of our electronics in different areas. So, you know, it was really interesting to see how the community had came together to clear out debris and help each other during this time. So that was amazing, and it was one of the first times I had ever seen that in my life. About a week, we stayed in Montego Bay, but then we ended up saying, okay, we may have to find a place on the island that didn't get hit by the hurricane as bad to relocate just for some time. So Kingston was that place. Kingston didn't get hit by the hurricane as badly as Montego Bay, so we relocated to Kingston for a while, where we were able to have electricity, running water, and internet. Because I work remotely and I really needed to work during that time, because we can't live out in an Airbnb and it just wasn't cost effective, I decided to leave the island for a while and visit home and stay with family while things were still getting situated here. I didn't plan on leaving Jamaica, but I ended up having to leave Jamaica anyway. And that was something that I didn't like, because people who live here don't get the option to leave. They have to live through it. And as someone who is choosing to live here, you know, and call this my new home, there shouldn't be an option to opt out. But at the same time, I had to work and I had to make sure that, money keeps coming. So I had to do what I had to do. So it gave me a chance to step back and really think about what this move meant for me long term. While I was gone, or while I went back to the States, there's a plane going overhead. So I'm going to speak a little louder. So while I was gone, I decided that I could do a lot of maintenance, like administrative life things back at home. So I went to the doctor, I did a bunch of appointments, dentist, I got my mail together. And while I was home, I had kind of a health update that I didn't expect. So during that time, I found out that I would be needing major reproductive surgery. I did not get the surgery yet. I'm still planning for the surgery. It's coming up in April, but during that time, I had to cope with the fact that surgery was on the table for me and how that would affect my life in Jamaica. Sorry, there's a dog. Affect my life in Jamaica, affect me traveling, and just my overall well being. So that definitely wasn't something that I was expecting, but it is something now that I'm planning for. And it really forced me to slow down, focus on my body, connect with my family, and just to think about what my next steps would be. Turning back to Jamaica. I came back to Jamaica around December, and the deciding factor was that we had water, electricity, and internet. So back fully functioning at our apartment, but it was still pretty rough. Before I left, grocery stores weren't really opening, gas stations weren't really open. It was a really hard time for people, and it was hard to have things. I remember going to the grocery store and they only letting in 5 or 6 people at a time, because they didn't have the staff, they didn't have the resources to have the store open for much longer than really necessary. So it was a really eye-opening experience being here during the hurricane. So returning back to Jamaica, things were open. The streets were pretty clear. Not a lot of debris on the streets as it was before, but still things visually that need to be cleaned up. Ended up celebrating New Year's. We went to a local park called Harmony Beach Park, and thousands of people were out that night. They shot off fireworks, and it was wonderful just to kind of see everyone come together. The country is still recovering in some ways. As for tourists, a lot of the hotels are still closed. A lot of tourist attractions are still starting to come alive again. And there are still some times where we have power outages regularly. I mean, sometimes when the wind blows, the power goes out and it comes back. But, we have internet hiccups and sometimes water issues, but that is also a part of living somewhere new and learning how to adapt. And when you choose to move somewhere outside of your home country or somewhere you are not accustomed to, you have to be patient with yourself while you're learning how to live there. Reflection. It's been a little bit messy, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of adjusting, a lot of patience. But at the same time, I am really grateful that I took the leap to move here. Even with the challenges, the experiences has taught me a lot about resilience and starting over, and a lot about myself. What I'm like in the face of fear, in the face of uncertainty, challenges, you know, it's helped me grow a lot. All right, so you're probably wondering what's next for this channel. And now that things are starting to stabilize again, I really want to get back into creating videos. So on this channel, you're going to start to see things like more updates about life in Jamaica, honest conversations about moving abroad, behind the scenes moments of building a new life somewhere, and just sharing the real experiences that I'm having, the ups and downs, the ins and outs. Um, it's exciting. It's life. It's life in a new place. So, if you've been here since the beginning, thank you for sticking around. And if you're new here, welcome. There's a lot to come, and hopefully, this time I won't disappear for 6 months. I promise. So, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.